All right. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Is it too late to join? It is. First of all, I'm very sorry for not giving a heads up about this stream. The simple reason is I messed up. This was supposed to happen. Okay, for those who doesn't know what's happening here. Who doesn't know what's happening here? How many people do we have in here? Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second. Let me adjust. Let me adjust. Yeah, I know we don't normally stream at this hour. This hour at this day. Yeah, everyone just come on through. All right. I'm not late. We're all on time. I can't be late. The stream wasn't even supposed to happen. The stream is going to be 2 seconds. It is going to be a severely truncated stream. That is for sure. This is a surprise impromptu stream. We can talk about a few other things just for fun, but it's not going to be the longest stream in the world. Main thing is, okay, who knows what this is about? Who knows what this is about? This is about, let me show you all. Yeah, this is about these beautiful, beautiful posters. Not these posters. These beautiful, beautiful posters. Which we have a giveaway running for. We've had a giveaway running for it, which is, in case you didn't know, obviously you can get all of these beautiful One Piece villain posters throughout the story. And we've had this giveaway running for it for a little bit, for the month of November. A giveaway basically launching our new Instagram, which is One Dream Studio. And actually it's pretty damn close to 2K followers, which is pretty nice because we just launched it, so we feel pretty good about that. So the rule was simple. If you went and followed One Dream Studio, then you were automatically entered into a giveaway in which you had the opportunity to win all of the boss posters for free, including both Rocks and Emu. Don't worry, don't freak out if you missed the giveaway. It is too late to enter, but we are going to keep doing these sort of giveaways. So just because you missed the deadline for this one doesn't mean that you missed it altogether. Yeah, so you can still go follow, and we'll be doing more of these giveaways. Definitely during December, during holiday season, we'll be doing giveaways. So don't worry about that. But yesterday, I was supposed to pull the winner on stream of the giveaway, and then I forgot. So we're going to do that now, because we're going to do it on stream. So the winner is going to be picked. Don't worry about that. We have 1,888 followers, and yeah, definitely you can go give the Instagram a like right now, or a follow right now. Here, I'll post it for y'all. And you can, of course, go and get the boss posters just straight up. We still have got our amazing deal running. This deal is only till the end of November. Buy two, get free, and you get to pick an additional free poster, either Rocks or Emu. That's the rule. You buy two, you get any other two free, and then you get to pick 1/3 free poster. So it's really buy two, get three, right? Really 5 posters for the price of 2. You get to pick either Rocks or Emu. Rocks and Emu, they're going away after this month. We're not producing them anymore. They're both gone after this month. Other posters will stay around, but the buy two, get two deal where you also get Rocks and Emu, that's just for this month. So you can still go get the posters. If you've entered the Instagram giveaway, give us a follow, then obviously we're going to pick the winner for you right now. I'll drop it for everybody here so that the people have it. And the last thing that I'll say is just a reminder, with your Instagram, if you liked, the rule was a follow. If you follow, then you're entered, and if you like, then you're also entered again. So some people are entered in twice. So does everybody understand what's happening here? Does everybody understand? We're not talking about spoilers. No spoilers. No spoilers. All right. Here we go. Let me just give you guys for transparency. So it's Instagram followers. It's nobody's real name, so I think it's okay to share because everybody that's here is also people who have liked the Instagram. So we've actually got You can kind of scroll through. If we scroll slowly, I'm sure you'll see your name. But we got everybody who's anybody who followed, and people who have followed and liked are entered in twice. So that's why we actually have over 1,800 entrants here. It's everybody that followed and liked. So I think we've got a total of like 2,000 something entrants. Let's see what the total is. Yeah, so it's past 1,800. Yeah, it's everybody that's followed and liked within the time frame that we gave. So it should be pretty much everything. Yeah, so we got 2,000. Yeah, and if you followed in the last couple days, you're probably not in it. You probably missed the window, but don't worry, you'll be eligible for future things. So we got a shit ton of people here, okay? And the way it's going to work is very simple. For those of you who might remember, last time I did like a little spinny wheel lottery thing, right? To select from the lottery balls. At this moment in time, I do not have, because we threw a Halloween party, so I don't know where all of those things are. Tried looking for it yesterday and this morning. Could not find it. I'm sure I will find it before next giveaway. For the purposes of this, we will do a random number generator online using technology. All right. Yeah. So is everybody ready? Which post do we like? You can, any likes are good. Any likes are good. You can't be entered in right now, but if you give a follow, then you're obviously in. And then if you give a follow and a like, you're in twice. All right. So the way it's going to work, I'm just going to do a random number generator from 1 to, what's our final number? Final number is 2,661. I'm going to do from 1 to 2,661. That is correct, right? 1 to 2,661. And then from there, we're just going to, we're just going to go down. We'll just do a random number generator thing. And it'll be all good. All right. Is it worldwide shipping, or do I ignore the musical giveaways as usual? Is it worldwide shipping? Yeah, no, it's worldwide. Yeah, we ship anywhere. Worldwide shipping. All right. All right, everybody. Ready? We're going to do this. If you're entered, get excited. And if you followed and liked, then get extra excited. All right? A random number generator. Does anyone have any issues with Google being used? Does anyone have something that's even more legit than Google? Otherwise, we're just going to do 2,661. All right? Does anybody have any issues with this? Is there some other tool that I should be using? If you hold control plus arrow down and up, you can insta-jump. Ah, good to know. I can do what Jackbird35 said. What did he say? You can also write equals random 12661 in Excel spreadsheet. Should we do that? Should we do that? Should I use the Excel function or Google? Let's do a poll. Should I do the it's only an issue if I don't win Excel function or Google to pick? Excel, Google. I personally wanted to use the spinny balls thing, but I can't locate those at the moment. They are here somewhere. Oh, whoops, 1 second. Hold on. I have no idea what I was expecting from this poll. A poll for the wheel is funny. We would do the wheel every... So, can somebody... Here's how I used to do the wheel. The way the wheel worked was basically there's not actually 2,661 balls in there. It's just balls that are labeled like 0 to 9, okay? So the way that I did the wheel before was basically... like, if we were to do it for this, then I would roll one ball that's either a 1 or 2 for the first digit. Or 0, 1, or 2, right, for the first digit. And then the next one I would roll based on what happened with the first one, and so on and so forth. All right, looks like we're going with Google by a slight margin. All right, I guess we're doing it. Is everybody ready? Is everybody excited? Are you ready to find out if you won the Instagram giveaway for the entire Boss Poster collection? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, 56. It seems really low. Oh my god, that's the One Piece number too. Holy shit, let's see. That's crazy. How do I go up faster? All right, time to find out who person number 56 is. All right, let's see. 56 is Andrew R1307. Please show yourself to the world if you are in chat. That's got to be fate. That's crazy. Number 56 won that. Andrew R1307. Is that you? Is that actually you? I can't tell. Is that you? Is that actually... We have no way of knowing. CFriend734, we don't know if you're the actual winner or not, but we do know that this guy, Andrew R1307, did win. Alright. Is that me? It seems pretty close to Andrew Rhodes, but I guess not. Alright. Alright, we have our winner. Okay. That's good. That is selected. We'll make the post on Instagram shortly. So that's all good. And I still can't tell if this person's trolling or not, but maybe it's the case. Yeah, we'll make this post on Instagram shortly, and then Andrew R1307, congratulations, you are the winner. And yeah, we'll be sending you over the boss posters ASAP. All right, good stuff. Sorry for the impromptu stream. I hope people had fun seeing the winner. Do we have any other matters of significance to discuss here? I wanted to do a Thanksgiving foods tier list, but maybe I'll save that for Friday. We could do it right here. Keep it cozy. Do any other countries celebrate Thanksgiving, or is it just the United States? I've realized that what Thanksgiving is, because I don't want to talk, because if we talk One Piece, then it gets into spoilers and stuff. So I could do like a fun little topic with you guys for a little bit, or we could wind down. 56 being the number is crazy, not gonna lie. Yeah, that is crazy. I guess it's good that we didn't do the balls thing. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to avoid spoilers here. X2X said, with a great question, Morge, why did you drop Kingdom? You said it had the best first arc. Yeah, Kingdom has the best first arc that I've read, unless you count Vinland Saga's entire prologue arc as a singular arc. It's tricky with Vinland Saga because I feel like there's a mini arc first, and then the rest of the prologue arc goes, like the arc with Thorfinn's a kid, and then there's an arc after that. But if we don't count that, then I think Kingdom is the best first arc that I can recall of any manga. But the reason that I dropped Kingdom is very simple. So the way Kingdom does its first arc, I think it shoots itself in the foot, because for those of you who haven't read Kingdom's first arc is basically, it tells a very complete story, and then the story ends, and then this is the mildest spoilers. It's just the first arc of Kingdom. Okay, it tells a very complete story, and then it's like, okay, everything's set up, and then it's a time skip into the future, and that's when the main story is going to begin. Okay, so the good is that it tells a nice complete story right there, right? It obviously has stuff set up for the heroes to do in the future, but it concludes its first arc with a nice sense of closure and then a time skip to the future. Okay, that is, it's by no means bad storytelling. It's good storytelling, but it does not give you anything that feels like a sort of cliffhanger or a continuing plot thread that you're on the edge of your seat to find out what happens next. I find that lots of series that really hook me and get me to keep going are when the arcs sort of flow into one another. Kingdom is the first and only storyline I can think of where first arc closes, and then it closes pretty hard, right? It does some world building, does some setup for future stuff, but it's nothing urgent or immediate. It again, time skip into the future, and now things are progressed, and then all of that stuff, right? So that's the thing. Like, I really enjoyed it, and then I skipped ahead in the time skip. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pick this up. I had to take a break from reading because of, just life was busy or something. So I was like, okay, I like this a lot. like where it's at. I'm going to pick this up and keep going at some point in the future. And then what's missing is kind of that itch. Like, I need to know what happens next. I need to see how this plot line plays out. It's such a strong point of closure, and then skipping ahead in the future, that it's almost like there's not a bug that's like inside my brain that's like, oh, I gotta get back and find out what happens next in Chainsaw Man. I gotta get back and find out what happens next in One Piece or something like that, because again, this is not bad storytelling or bad writing by any means. I'm just explaining why the structure of the story sets itself up such that the prologue concludes so neatly, and with such a gap before the next events of the story, that there's not a sort of continuing plot thread that's pulling you along to the next part. It's just kind of like, well, do you want to see what happens next in the future? That's basically the question it leaves you with. So it's no insult to Kingdom. I'm sure it's a great story based on just how strong of a start it had, but it's not a start that keeps pulling you along further. Does that make sense? Yeah, I do want to get back into Kingdom. For sure. In my country, we do not celebrate Thanksgiving or Black Friday. It would have been cool to have, though, not gonna lie. I think Thanksgiving's cool because I thought about it. I think Thanksgiving is like it's basically like, because I was like, why don't we eat Thanksgiving foods at other times of the year that much? And I realized that Thanksgiving is kind of this day where none of these foods individually can be like the star of the show, but you have this one day where you combine all of these foods together, and then suddenly it's like the Avengers, and it's like, oh wow, when you line them all up together, then it's like a really great spread, you know? Because it's kind of just like, if you told somebody that like, oh, what's for dinner? It's like, turkey. It's like, that fucking sucks, right? What's for dinner? We just had this giant fucking ham. It's like, okay, that's terrible, right? If it's like, you get what I'm saying? It's, and then you combine all the other foods, it's like, well, we've got like these green beans. We got stuffing. Everybody likes stuffing, but usually it's like stuffing. There needs to be a reason for there to be stuffing, right? No one's going around just making stuffing for no reason. Mashed potatoes, that's a classic, right? Cornbread, that's a classic side, right? But cornbread can never be the star of the show. But then you've got this day, Thanksgiving, where it's like, well, let's just throw in all the foods together that can never really be the star of the show themselves. But when you combine them all, then it just makes this amazing meal. And I think that's what Thanksgiving really is, That's what's fun about it. Tiptia, thanks for being a Pirate King tier member for 7 months, man. You've talked a lot about Blackbeard getting Pluton, but you've never talked about what Blackbeard will actually do with it afterwards. Does the Blackbeard versus Strahd happen on Pluton, or does it do nothing? I think that we have to see something destroyed with Pluton. What if it's Blackbeard assaulting straight up Marija or something like that with Pluton? Blowing up the wall. I think we will see some island destroyed with Pluton. We've already seen it happen with Uranus. I think that then Frankie's ship will have to. I think there will be some sort of a naval battle where Frankie has to use Pluton, his version of Pluton to counter Blackbeard's Pluton. I think that'll be really cool. Because that's kind of foreshadowed with the entire Will of the Shipwrights thing, Joel W8Z1C, thanks for the 5. Moj, you mentioned how 56 seems like fate. Numbers do have some meaning, I believe. Do you believe in zodiacs? No, I don't believe in zodiacs. I don't believe in astrology. I don't believe in any of that stuff. Sometimes things are just chance, Corn is hella good for real? Yeah. I don't even eat turkey on Thanksgiving, says Ender. Yeah, I'm just not a big turkey person. And I think, you know what? I think that this Thanksgiving, I'm just going to try to almost eat no turkey at all. We're going to my girlfriend's family's potluck, and they make really, really good food. But I'm just not a turkey person. So, I think, you know what? I think in the past, this is probably what maturing is like. In the past, growing up, generally, if there was turkey at Thanksgiving, I would try and make myself eat a decent amount of it, because it's like, well, this is the main dish. Even though I don't like it, I feel like I should have a certain amount of it and then get to the sides. But as I've gotten older and older, I'm thinking, why do I think this way? what the whole concept of a main dish and side dishes, this is stuff that we all just make up, right? There is no such thing as a main dish. And I don't like turkey. So why don't I tomorrow on Thanksgiving just not really try to eat much turkey at all? What if I just have like a couple bites and I just focus on just the food that I like? I don't need to force myself to eat the foods that I don't like. So I'm going to go forward with that mentality. The thing is that I am not going to be with my family. I'm going to be with my girlfriend's family. So I don't want to appear rude. So I probably have to have some turkey. But only the amount that is needed for politeness, I think. That's going to be the mentality. Because I want to enjoy the meal. So I think I'm just going to really eat a lot of sides. I'm a huge carbs person. So cornbread or corn casserole, whatever's there. Mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. If I can just have that sort of stuff, I'll be super happy. Zolden3410, thanks for being a Pirate King to remember for 27 months, man. Hey, Mort, have you ever played Metroid? It's basically if Zelda was one huge dungeon instead of separating them with great atmosphere. There's shooting, but it's not a shooter, lol. Let me tell you guys a story of one of my greatest failures. So I was a child, right? I was a child, and I just gotten a GameCube, and I wasn't like a familiar gamer or whatever. Spoilers, the GameCube was the it was the only console I had till I was like, I think like 16 or something like that. It was a long ass time before my parents I got the GameCube when I was, I want to say like maybe 9 or something, and then that was it. That was my only console. that was it. I think I got it when I was like 9 or maybe 10 or something, and then after that my parents were like, well, he's got the GameCube, that's good enough. And this would have been like 2003, like the Wii came and went. It was just no PlayStation, no Xbox, nothing like that growing up, okay? Just the GameCube. Anyway, so I was a young boy. They got me the GameCube. With the GameCube, they got me some games. Little did I know that these would be the only games I would get for a long time. The games that they got me were the single-player games that they got me, right? They did give me Smash Melee and Mario Kart later on. They got me Zelda Wind Waker. This game called Monkey Ball. Don't know what that was. I think it was like a free game that came with it. Okay. Zelda Wind Waker. Spider-Man. Like a movie. It was based off of the movie. Spider-Man movie video game. They got me Shrek 2. And then they got me Metroid. It was like Metroid Prime. It was one of the early Metroid games. It was for GameCube, okay? I tried all of them. Metroid. I literally could not get past the opening little tutorial section. Because what you had to do was like open a gate by shooting. You had to shoot like the trigger or something to open it or something. I didn't even put that together. I was just like, well, the gate's not fucking opening. And I was just stuck in that tutorial area for a long time. And then my neighbor friend, who is a couple years older, he came over at one point. And then I was like, yeah, there's this game Metroid, but I literally don't understand it. And then he went, and then he opened the gate pretty much right away. And then I watched him, and I was like, oh, fuck, okay, that makes sense. And then I watched him play all the way through the first boss or something like that. But there was just something, I think because I was a kid, there was just, and I was more, I think at that age, obviously lots of kids were playing more mature games and stuff, but I genuinely enjoyed the Nintendo-y stuff, right? So I think that game at that point in time just seemed a little bit too dark, and like visually dark, like it didn't feel warm or fun to play, and the tutorial section baffled me. So no, I can't say I'm a fan of Metroid. Here's my second experience with Metroid, okay? So in college, my roommate, this would have been sophomore year, my roommate's sophomore year, right? He was a very good friend, okay? But he would get very, very focused and intent, and like he would put too much pressure on himself when it came to video games, okay? To a point that it was not healthy. So he was playing Metroid, and I watched him play Metroid. I watched him play a couple games. It was like Super Mario Sunshine, Metroid. He was just playing the old retro GameCube games. I forget which Metroid it was, but he was playing Metroid for the GameCube. And I watched him get through the whole game, and it seemed like a difficult game. It did actually seem like a difficult game. It seems very labyrinthine. I don't know if I pronounced that right. But it does seem like you got to remember a lot, switching between the different types of beams and stuff that you use. It did seem like a difficult game. But it was kind of fun to watch, okay? And I watched him get through so much of the game, and then he got to literally the final boss. So it was the final boss, and I'm watching. It's his first go at it. I'm watching. Our other friends also are. We're all just hanging out in the room, right? They're also there. They're watching. They know my friend John. His name's John. Is like at the end of Metroid or whatever. So we're all sitting around watching him play. I do believe this was his first attempt, right? So nothing to be ashamed of or anything. But he is playing and playing, and like he's putting so much pressure on himself. I don't know if it's because we're all there watching, or if it's because the final boss or what. But he's putting so much pressure on himself to win right here, right? I don't even remember what the final boss was like, but nobody's putting pressure on him. We're just watching, and he's getting like stressed because like it's slowly like eking away. He's getting he gets very, 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 very close to finishing off the final boss. Like it's right there. It's right there. And then he just can't get it over the edge for like a long period of time. And it's just like a stressful couple of minutes or whatever. And then he's so close, and then he dies. And he fucking flips out. He's like, he flips out. It's a controller toss. He gets up. We have a bunch of paper bowls. He smacks the bowls. He smacks the bowls. So our paper bowls, like it's a little stack of paper bowls in our room. He smacks the paper bowls. They fall over, and he storms out. And then we're all just like, then we just die laughing. And then I think after that, he just drops the game. And we thought he's joking at first, but he's like, no, I can't go back and do that again. We're like, what the fuck? Why not just play it again? It's your first try or whatever. Why not just play it again? Like, it's normal to die. But he was just so upset with him. I don't know why. It seemed like he put a lot of himself mentally into that specific attempt. And then after that, he just couldn't look at the game again. So then he dropped it. So that's what I remember of Metroid. So it doesn't seem like a fun experience. Does my family make Indian food for Thanksgiving? No. In my family, in my home, me and my sister, I think especially me growing up, famously complain about Indian food a lot. Because that was the main thing my mom would make. So it would just be like, maybe it's natural, but like I would just complain about Indian food a lot. I don't think I liked Indian food growing up. Now I like Indian food. Now that I'm an adult, it just took some time and distance or whatever. So now I like it. But growing up, we would hate Indian food. So my family, if they're making any sort of special dinner, then the dinner would be. Let me paste this into Slack, the Instagram winner. Congrats again, Andrew R1307. The food that we liked, like if American food was being made, then that meant that we were going to be happy. That meant my parents were doing something that would make us happy, basically. They just generally didn't make American food. Hold on. And yeah, if we're hosting other people, then if we were hosting other people, then we might include some Indian food just because then that's like our specialty or whatever. But if we're going to other people's places, we would generally go to our neighbor's place for Thanksgiving, and then they would usually make some really good like traditional Thanksgiving food. But if we're having people at our place, then like maybe we would let them bring some food, we would make some American food and then some Indian food. Eat your Rajma Chawal. I'm not a rice person in general. I don't like rice. If I'm eating Indian food, I like roti, paratha. If it's at a restaurant, I like naan. And I don't like Rajma. I'm not a fan of Rajma. Performance anxiety, says Ender. I think John would just put a lot on himself in these. Like, he was very competitive, but you can be overly competitive for things that don't matter to the point that, like, you put too much of yourself on them, and then you're stressing yourself out more, you know? Do you eat burgers? Burgers are my favorite food in the world. I've thought about this a lot, like, because burgers have always been my favorite food since, like, high school or whatever, and I think more recently I was thinking to myself, like, are burgers definitely my favorite food? Like, are they actually truly my favorite food? Like, if I think of all of the best restaurants I've ever eaten at, all of the best meals I've ever had, all yada yada, if I was on an island, like Like, do I really think that I would order a burger if I could have any food in the world? And I think yes, I would order a burger for sure. If I could have any meal in the world, I'd probably ask for give me the best burger in the world, best cheeseburger in the world. Burger and fries is simply, in my mind, the best food you can have. Because for me, my tastes, right? Not everybody's taste, but my taste, three things, right? I like three favorite food. I think the three basic food components that are really good in my mind, or really the two. Let's say the two. I think bread and meat are just great, right? I think bread and meat, everybody likes bread and meat. I think most of the great foods in the world are some combination of bread and meat, unless you're a vegetarian, of course, understandable. But I think bread and meat, those are the two basic combinations, right? I think, and my favorite meat to eat is beef. And I actually like ground beef better than steak, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but I like ground beef more than chewier beef. I like the fattier ground beef more. So if you're just adding those components together, what's the dish that combines those two things, bread and my favorite type of meat, which is ground beef? It's just a burger, right? Maybe there's some better fine dining sort of way to eat bread and ground beef. I don't know what it is, so I default to a burger as my favorite food. And then my third favorite food subtype after bread and meat is cheese. And then what do you know? That also goes on a burger. So to me, it's just it's actually not that complicated. Just because a burger's not like the fanciest food in the world doesn't mean that it's not the food that best fits my taste. And I think people don't understand how much I love burgers. So, when I first moved to the city that I'm in right now, right? The city that I live in, for the first year, the first thing I did was I went through all of like the foodie lists, for my city. The top foodie list that list out the best burgers in my city. And then I compiled all of them into a spreadsheet. So it was like list after list after list. So like all of the burgers that are listed on any of those articles and then what their rank is on each of those lists. And that was just to give myself like a sort of map as to like, okay, I need to hit all of these spots and these seem like higher priority than these to try out all the burgers, right? This was at a period of time, by the way, where I didn't know people or anything, right? I was still new. I wasn't really trying to socialize or anything like that. I just wanted to try the best burgers. So I think like every weekend I would try like a different one on the list. And then I was trying to keep track like, well, which one do I like best? So then I started creating like a little criteria sheet for myself where I would like write down like, well, this one had really good buns but bad meat or something. This one overcooked. This one not juicy enough, yada yada. And so then after a little bit, I realized like, oh shit, like I've become a miniature, not like an actual foodie type person, but I've become like a miniature connoisseur only when it comes to burgers specifically. And then eventually I found my favorite one in my town, and then I kind of just stick to that. Also, when I go to a new city, if I'm visiting a new city, then usually I will try to look up what the supposedly the best burger in that town is, and then I'll try to get a burger from there if I get the chance, if I get time. Taptia Treviso, thanks to the two. The best burgers are Swiss/mushroom burgers, to be honest. Those are good. There's like a burger. I don't want to say the name. Is this, how much of a chain is this? Is this a chain everywhere? Or is it... I want to reference a certain burger, but I feel like it'll give away my location. But yeah, I'm not going to talk about it. But yeah, I like burgers with mushrooms and stuff. Like, mushrooms and Swiss is good. Mushrooms and cheese are good. I think it just depends, though. I think for me, at the end of the day, while I like a lot of different types, I do often just default to the classic, which is like, well, I like burgers with give me Uh, Best beef you can have, right? So ideally, like some fancy ass beef, but it doesn't have to be. American cheese is fine. That needs mayo, and then extra condiments, whatever I think the place kind of specializes in. All right, burger tier list when? I mean, you can't really do a burger tier list unless you're doing for, I guess chain restaurant burgers or whatever. Quality of fries is extremely important to the burger experience. Yeah, and you know what's crazy is that so you can go to some really bougie places that have like a famous burger or whatever. Like there's one that I went to here that I was excited about when I first moved here. And you can go there and you can get a burger that's like a hyped up like fancy burger or whatever, and the burger there was very good. But because it's a fancy place, they don't give you fries. The idea is that the burger in itself is like this, and it's not like fries you order on the side or something. No, you can't get fries. The place doesn't serve fries. Fries aren't a thing. It's just it's so like they're one of those places with like a really tight menu. You know what I mean? Like it's like a menu with like 6 dishes on it. One is the burger. You get the burger. The burger should just speak for itself is the mentality. And I'm like, I get that makes sense, and I still love this burger, but I need some. I'm just too conditioned. I need the fries with it. Thoughts on the Big Mac? I actually really love Big Macs. I used to be a big McDonald's person. Now, not so much anymore, but I actually really do love Big Macs. Um, I think Big Mac sauce is good. I think Big Mac sauce is good. It's not a super complicated sauce or anything like that, but I think Big Mac sauce is solid. That's all you really need. The meat quality isn't good, but it's made up for with. And McDonald's has good fries, in my opinion. I think McDonald's, as far as fast food places go, I like McDonald's fries a lot. Burger and shake can be really good. So a lot of people shit on Five Guys because they're like, it's too expensive now. It's too expensive now. I think that's fair, but I also just like Five Guys better than normal fast food burgers, right? So and I like burgers enough that I don't care. So, um, so for me, Five Guys is like all the places I really love for burgers nearby. I can't aren't on DoorDash, right? You actually have to go there, order it, etc. Right? Five Guys is kind of like the best you can order that that still feels like better than the fast food burgers. So I like Five Guys. They give you a shit ton of fries, right? They give you a ton of fries. The burger they give you is very big, and you can get a shake. So to me, that's like a very good combination. I get that people are like, well, it's too expensive now, but I also think I think Five Guys is fucking good, so I don't really care. All right, enough talk about burgers. What's my least favorite burger then? I don't like Burger King burgers. I don't like because like there's a lot of fast food chains, right? So the ones that I don't like, I just don't go there anymore. I remember Burger King stands out as one that I don't like, but I'll go to McDonald's. I'll go to Wendy's. Um, I'm not huge on In and Out. I think if I'm just trying to get a fast food burger, I'll just default to like a Wendy's or something like that. But I don't really have fast food burgers nowadays. Hold on, let's do this real quick. Just because we're having a little bit of fun. Just a little bit. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. This is good. Yeah, this looks pretty good to me. Do you all consider mac and cheese to be a Thanksgiving food? Is that considered a Thanksgiving food or no? That doesn't apply. Here, let me do this. Let me do this. I'll just do this in the background while we talk. Red Robin. I haven't had Red Robin in so long. I haven't had Red Robin in so long. All right. think that's all we need. Let's do a quick tier list in the background. Quick tier list in the background. Great, good, okay, bad. So for people who are not American, this will help educate you. All right, this will help educate you. I don't even know what the fuck. I don't know what some of these are. What is baked squash? Compost? What the fuck? Cool Whip isn't a meal in and of itself. Some of these things are stupid. Some of these things are stupid. I don't agree with everything. Also, I think mac and cheese should be in here. I think apple pie is great. Baked squash, I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to put it in bad. Biscuits, I love biscuits. Baked sweet potato. I don't know if I've tried that, so I'm just going to put it in okay. I feel like I might have tried it. I like sweet potato in general. Brown gravy is not a dish in and of itself, so we're going to leave it. Brussels sprouts, bad. Collard greens, bad. In general, I'm not a big vegetable guy. Don't like vegetables. That's part of why I used to hate Indian food growing up, because Indian food is very largely composed of vegetables. Cajun or regular fries? From Five Guys or in general, it's actually a heavy toss-up for me. It really depends. Some places I like sweet potato fries, but from Five Guys, I think I'll usually default to large regular fries, but their Cajun fries are really good. So it's more so what I'm in the mood for. Is this how much food is being cooked for Thanksgiving? No, it'll depend on no. Americans don't cook all of this. Usually, I'd say most things. It depends on the size. Like if you're going to a huge potluck, then you might have several main dishes or something. But I think most Thanksgivings, like a standard size Thanksgiving, you can expect like one main meat entree, which is probably going to be turkey. Maybe two if you're doing like turkey and ham, or like some people do meatloaf or something. Like usually one, maybe two main meat dishes, depending on how big the get-together is. And then you've got like an assortment of sides. So you probably got at least 1 to 2 vegetable things, and then you got a lot of carbs. So probably some potato type thing, probably some bread type thing, at least one of each of those, probably some vegetable type thing. I'd say the categories are then like there's the main meat, so you get 1 to 2 of those. Then probably, right, unless you're doing a bigger group. And then there's the bread type thing, so that might be cornbread, like the carbs, right? So that might be cornbread, corn casserole, biscuits, something like that. Mac and cheese. Oh, mac and cheese is in there, right? So you've got some bread dishes. So like maybe, again, depending on how big the Thanksgiving is, anywhere from like 1 to 3 of the bread type things. Then you probably got some potato stuff. So you probably have a potato dish, mashed potatoes or something like that, or red potatoes. So one of those, and then maybe 1 to 2 vegetable dishes, but I don't touch those because they're stupid. It just depends on how big the get-together is, how much people feel like cooking. But no, Americans don't have all of this. Grape salad, what the fuck is that? Glazed carrots, that can be okay. All right, corn casserole. I love corn casserole. I absolutely love corn casserole, as well as cornbread. That stuff is among my absolute favorites. Corn in general, lazy. It's okay, it's not bad. Cranberry sauce, as long as it's done well, it can be great. Creamed spinach is better than the other things. Crescent rolls, that's not a big thing to me. Dinner rolls, that's not a big thing to me. Green bean casserole, can be okay. It can be okay. Green beans, it can be okay. No, you know what? Fuck it. I'm being too kind to the vegetables. Green Jello salad. Don't know what that is. That sounds terrible. Red Jello salad. You know what? It just from the sound of it, I'm gonna put it in here and here. Ham. It can be okay. I'm just not the biggest on that. Where's turkey at? I'm gonna put turkey in bad. It depends. Like obviously some people can make turkey good, but it's just I don't know. Steak is good. I actually really like steak depending on how well it's done, like the type of meat and stuff, but I don't consider steak to be a Thanksgiving food, so I'm going to leave it off the list. Because, like, then you enter that territory and it's like, well, let's just fucking throw everything in, like roast chicken, all that stuff. I don't know. Why is this list upset? You guys eat, like, a lot of Jell-O on Thanksgiving? That's never been my experience. Why is red Jello salad on here twice? And this one's pink. Mac and cheese, I think good. Mashed potatoes, great. Red potatoes, good. Roasted carrots, put it in here. No, yeah, we'll put it in here. Scalloped potatoes, I think are great. Stuffing, I think is great. Sweet potato casserole, wasn't that already on here? I don't know enough about that, so I'll leave that off. All right. Pecan pie is great. I think pecan pie is good. I think pumpkin pie is great. There we go. I think this is my list. This is good. I like this. If I'm going to Thanksgiving tomorrow and I see these, I'm going to eat all of these. If I see any of these, I'm not going to eat them. I might eat one of the meat things a little bit to be polite, but I'm mostly going to focus on food that fall into this category. Just to delete the good tier, bruh. No, because you know what? Some of these I should drop. Some of these shouldn't be here. I think apple pie will move into good. I think mashed potatoes, it depends. You know what? It just depends. It depends. I think all of these could be elevated to great, actually, except for the mac and cheese and red potatoes. I'm putting this back. Nah. Yeah, I'm going to put this back here. Putting these here. Nah. We'll keep that. We'll keep that. I feel good about this. All right. Morge, do you think that when it comes to recalling One Piece chapters off the top of your head, would you say that you're better than any other YouTuber? I think better than any other YouTuber, probably, because I do think that I'm the YouTuber that has to use images in their videos the most. And even though I now have an image person for that, lots of times I'm still getting the images myself, just depending on time scheduling and stuff like that. And I already had to do that for years before I hired the image guy. Diaclea says, I'm a firm believer that a tier list should follow a normal distribution, otherwise it's probably not a good one. I do agree with that, but I was lazy with this one. I do feel that a tier list where like a large number of things are in great means that you need another tier in there to spread out the picks a little bit more. I do agree with that. All right, everybody. I think we've had a pretty good stream. Congratulations to the winner, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this emergency stream. Next time we'll make sure that we pick the giveaway winner on a correctly scheduled stream. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and with that I will talk